everybody. I'm Dee Jones with Heal, Grow, Share. We're a mental health private practice in Prosper, Texas, and we offer face-to-face therapy when we're allowed to meet face-to-face. Right now, during our social distancing, we're providing all of our services online. And I have invited Gloria Dukes to be here with me on the video today. She is our licensed marriage and family therapist associate, and she is phenomenal. We get amazing feedback on her. I know that her heart is for couples, and I know that she pours everything that she has into her sessions with them. So I asked her to come on and join us so that you could meet her and you could hear from her. She recently wrote an amazing blog post. She's very, very gifted in her writing. And we posted that just on Monday, the 20th. So it's a very recent post. If you haven't checked out our website and our blog that's on there, please make sure you do that. I'll be sure to share links wherever I post this video. But Gloria, thank you for agreeing to be on today. I know you have a lot going on, so thank you for being here with us.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
So I want to just talk to you about your amazing blog that you wrote. It's titled Helping My Marriage Blossom During COVID-19. One of the things that we were talking about just briefly recently was that now that families, couples are home together more, because many of them are working from home or they're just finding themselves at home, it could be a little bit of a struggle for some. It could be that they're finding there are some issues they either were not aware of before or were avoiding before. And so you wrote a blog with 11 different tips on here, and they're beautiful, great tips for couples to help them flourish, help their marriage flourish during this time. And so I just wanted to talk to you a little bit. Number one, I wanted to ask you, in your professional opinion, what are some of the things that couples might be bumping up against during this season of social distancing, COVID-19, being stuck at home?
I know I can imagine that couples who were having communication issues before, if one of the persons in the couple either avoided talking with the other partner, or they, had anger issues, and their responses were generally angry when they came back to, that person, that would be something that is escalated at this time. Communication issues are big. One person feels unheard, and that feeling unheard becomes so profound after a long period of time when you're in the same house, but you're still feel isolated and alone, rejected, that kind of thing. Another issue, once again, with that anger could be, if the anger spouted into something else, whether it's domestic violence or something more serious than that, then a lot of times that could be, something that if the person has no control over their anger, then that could escalate into really angry issues. Another thing that you could be seeing right now, because of financial issues, some people are actually being laid off work or let go at their jobs, and that can cause financial difficulties or fear of the unknown. What is going to happen to us? Where are we going from here? What's going to be our new normal? And that fear, can blossom into anger. It can blossom into, and it's so important that couples take the time to talk to each other during that. And now I think the other thing would be just trying to manage children, trying to manage the kids, and if it's all poured on one partner and not the other, that can be a lot. Especially if both partners are working from home. If the juggle is pushed to one and the other one is not picking up any of that slack, then that can cause some resentment and some angry feelings.
Yeah, that can feel very overwhelming.
Right.
And I know that you work on these issues, not just during COVID-19, but all the time. I know that you work on communication and you work on conflict resolution, and you provide a ton of skills in your therapy sessions for your clients. And I know that in your blog, you referenced a little bit about the financial concerns and ways to communicate about that, and ways that things you can do to keep the door open so that your partner will come to you and talk with you and feel safe doing so. Mm-hmm. And you can continue working to make a plan for what you need to do next. I know that I loved how you wrote that out in your blog. I thought it was very clearly stated. I do have one question for you about something you wrote in your blog, because you have 11 really good points in there. Okay. And one or two of them reference one-on-one time as a couple, and taking time together without interruptions to do things together. And as I was reading that, I was imagining that there would be a couple somewhere saying, well, that's not possible for us because we have kids and it's busy here and we just don't get time alone. That's not something we can do. What would your response be to a couple who maybe is thinking that way?
The first thing I would ask them is, how are they setting their schedule? Like, how do their schedule look? Because you can usually squeeze sometimes somewhere in there. How are they managing the time with their children? Because if they have their children on a schedule, which is so important right now, that is one thing that is so vital, is, the kids without schedule are kind of all over the place, and they themselves thrive on discipline and scheduling and things like that. So they thrive in that environment. It doesn't have to be all locked in, like it must be this time, but just, a way to say, okay, generally around this time, we're going to be doing this. And then, so if you have a schedule, then you can manage your time, and you can manage and place time in there. I always say to couples that come to me that it is so important to prioritize your relationship. So you have to make it important. So if it's important, you're going to make time for it. The things that matter, you make time for. So even with those kids all over the place and no school and no extracurricular activities and things that we're used to keeping them busy, we're also slower. We're in the house from a lot of us, some of us not, because we've got the essential workers that are going out doing their thing. But those who are in the home with you, you've got all from morning to night. You're in each other's face. You're there seeing each other. There is some time you can squeeze in there and take time for each other.
Sure. Yes, I love that. And so for couples who are struggling with that, that's something that you can work with them on, correct? Creating a schedule, finding that time, setting boundaries,
right,
around all of that. Wonderful. So what would you say to couples who are kind of riding the fence of, do we really need to talk to someone? Do we not? It's not that bad, or maybe it is bad, but they're feeling a little bit embarrassed about reaching out. What would your encouragement be to couples?
My encouragement with couples is always that if you are finding it hard to communicate, so if you do try to sit down and you try to have those conversations and they're difficult to come by, or there's hurt, there's anger issues, or there's pain, because there's pain behind the anger. So whenever there's anger, there's something behind that. So it's something sitting there, if there's something and you can't quite say what you want to your loved one, or you can't say it without being angry, you can't say it without feeling hurt, or one of the two of you walking away and the situation is not resolved, yes, then that maybe someone else needs to step in there. And there is no shame in. The shame is not getting help. The shame is letting things go over and acting as though they're not there. It's so much better to take the time, and why not now? We've got all the time in the world to work on. This is, time not like the present, to work on your relationship. Even if it's a small thing, something really small and quick and brief. You can do a brief therapy. We can do something that's short and gets to the point of what's going on with you, and you move on. And that therapy helped you for that moment and helped you with that issue, and you were able to move past it. So it doesn't have to be a big, deep, intense thing if it's not necessary at this time.
So I think what I'm hearing you say then is that couples can do a short-term, more enrichment type therapy with you, or for those who need it or want it, they can do a longer-term, more intensive therapy if that's what's needed.
Exactly. Yes.
Awesome. Yes. And then you, through Heal, Grow, Share, are offering all of those services. So I'll make sure that wherever we post this video, we have ways that clients can reach out and set up sessions. And as I mentioned before, we're doing everything online right now. So all of our intake paperwork is online. It could not be easier to get started than it is right now. And so we encourage you to reach out. And if you need to have a consultation, if you have questions, you can reach out with those as well. I'm telling you, we've heard amazing things from Gloria's clients, and you will not find someone who is more passionate about marriages and strengthening and saving them. And Gloria, you're married yourself. You've been married for several years, and you have a little one at home. So you're in the middle of all of this, just like the rest of us, right?
Right. Yes.
Yes.
Definitely.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate you taking time out of your day and just letting me ask you a few questions and introduce you to our community. And I'm looking forward to hearing from people who have questions and reach out to you. And maybe we'll get together pretty soon and do this again so that we can cover some other topics.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you so much.
I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to you again soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.